What's up everyone, Taiki here, and in this video I want to go over why I think we are in a Fartcoin super cycle. If you like the content, please like and subscribe and check out my premium Discord. I post 3 videos every single week. So let's get right into it. So as of now, Fartcoin is trading at roughly 97 cents. It's up 21% today, while the rest of the markets are getting absolutely shreked, destroyed. Bitcoin's holding up, ETH is doing okay, Solana down 6%, and then, a bunch of memes, right, in my watch list, getting mogged, other coins mogged, this absolute destruction. And in a sea of red, Fartcoin is up 22.69%. I do think this relative strength is very, very important, and generally coins that are really strong on the downside tend to be strong on the upside. So what happens if the market bounces? What if Bitcoin hits new all-time highs? I think Fartcoin is going to be a significant outperformer for weeks and months to come. And I've covered Fartcoin for a long time on this channel, and AI coins in general. So I want to first talk about Fartcoin and then kind of tie into Fartcoin's relationship with the entire AI meta. When I woke up this morning, I was in disbelief, right? Because I knew that I thought that Fartcoin was gonna go eventually mainstream, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. The ultimate bull case for Fartcoin is for it to be a top 3 meme coin. So Doge is number 1, Shiba is number 2, Pepe is number 3, and then there's a bunch of these animal coins sitting here. I think what's happening now is I think there's a significant animal to fart rotation, right? There are too many animals trading at billions of, or slightly below billions of market cap. They don't really differentiate from one another, and there's a lot of derivatives. But when it comes to Fartcoin, there can only be one Fartcoin, right? Someone can't make a stinky Fartcoin, a loud Fartcoin. It doesn't make sense. There's only one Fartcoin. It's a one-of-one meme. So I do think there's a significant animal to fart rotation, and like I said, the ultimate goal for any meme is for it to be like 10 billion, right? 10 billion is like the first, a billion is like the first target, but it's already there. The next target is like 10, 20, 30. What are the odds of these coins, right? Or like a Fartcoin being 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion. And I think out of all the memes trading right now, aside from Doge and Shiba and Pepe, it's the most likely to become mainstream. Like I said, I was in disbelief. Stephen Colbert, I'm just going to play this clip, and it's quite incredible.
Despite this turbulent market, you don't see me shaken because I've taken all my money and placed it safely in meme coin. Okay, I'm fine. For instance, I've put it in the very real cryptocurrency called Fartcoin, this is true, which today surged to a nearly $1 billion market cap. But I'm not here to brag about my good fortune. Okay, that's the thing about Fartcoin. It's silent but wealthy. Of course.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Silent but wealthy. Think about it, right? I think Fartcoin. So okay, let's take a step back. Of course, people care about Ethereum, Solana, XRP, like whatever, but there's only 2 coins that TradFi cares about. It's Bitcoin and Fartcoin. I talked about this TradFi Cope flywheel, right? This is the most sound mechanism design that exists in crypto, right? For whatever reason, right? Fartcoin just resonates with everybody. And, the evolution of Fartcoin is quite incredible. First, it launched in mid-October because, Truth Terminal hallucinated Fartcoin. Because Truth Terminal was trained on Reddit, 4chan, weird internet forums, and it was asked the question, like, what kind of meme is like the best to have utility and have in future like community building aspects. And Truth Terminal said Fartcoin. So in a way, it's a data-driven meme coin. Okay, Truth Terminal has all this internet data, and it determined that the type of meme coin that would resonate with humans the most is Fartcoin. And guess what? It's happening. It's playing out in real time. There's so many angry boomers. And I think in a way, right, these boomers are doing this because it's like a good way for them to engagement farm. So like this guy here, right, he got 2,000 likes. He's like, oh yeah, Fartcoin is up 1,500%, while my precious metal gold is down 4%. My oil is down 2%. Oh man, the markets are so irrational. The Fed has to stop cutting rates, right? And that's kind of, the flywheel. The higher it goes, the more absurd it gets, and the more people complain about it in TradFi. But little do they know, all their complaining just adds more attention to the coin, which makes it go up higher, and it makes it more funny, right? Fartcoin at $1 billion is way funnier than Fartcoin at 100 million. Fartcoin at 10 billion is going to be hilarious. Like, what the heck, right? It's going to flip all sorts of public companies. And, the ultimate bull case is, for it to really get to top 3 status. And I think it is the most likely, right? Just name me one other coin in the market right now that's most likely to, put in these giant parabolas. And of course, I have bear market PTSD. Whenever I see red days, I'm like, oh my God, is it over? But the thing is, I don't think the market cycle or the market top is in, or like the macro top is in. This might be a local top, but I don't really think it's over. I think we can all agree that Fartcoin is the most reflexive asset in crypto, where the higher it goes, the flywheel just really takes over. So in a way, I think it makes sense to own Fartcoin, right? Like, I mean, not financial advice, of course, but you know how in Boomerland, right? Like when the Bitcoin ETF got announced, they're like, okay, like people can put 1 or 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin because it's a very volatile asset, but in a bull market, it's going to go up a lot. So it's going to increase your Sharpe ratio, your Sortino ratios, if you just include 1 or 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, right? And maybe that's a sound investment advice or strategy for someone that's like trying to retire in like 30 years. But of course, in crypto degen land, it's a lot different, right? In crypto degen land, most degens or some degens, they don't even own Bitcoin, right? They're just like going full in like on the altcoins, or maybe they own some basket of like majors and altcoins. And to those people, right, from a portfolio construction perspective, doesn't it make sense to own the most reflexive asset in crypto, right? Like let's say, because I've realized that like, just because it's called Fartcoin, people just are just so against it. It's like, right? Like I don't fart, right? Girls don't fart, right? It's like, bro, like girls do fart. But anyways, if I were to introduce you an asset where I just told you, right, it's the most reflexive asset, it's gaining mainstream adoption, and it's probably like has the highest chance of putting in parabolas. People would probably be open to buying that asset, right? But just because it's called Fartcoin, right? It's just like, oh no, like no way, bro, right? But I think that's part of the lore, right? That's part of the reason why I think it's going to do so well. But speaking of, I guess, reflexivity, one thing I've been doing is I've been studying the Doge chart. Not recently, right? Recently the Doge chart looks horrible, but the Doge chart of December, 2020 and 2021. Let's study this chart. So this is CoinGecko. I did this for market cap, right? Put it in log. Actually, yeah, there you go. Log. And so today is December 19th, right? December 19th of 2020. Doge was at $500 million market cap. Think about that. $500 million. I think people forget that Doge used to be under $1 billion 4 years ago. Now it's at 60 billion and people think that's normal, right? Like that's kind of crazy to think about. And I just want you to like study this entire like run up, right? So it hit $500 million and then, early January, bam, right? Like 2.5x to 1.3 billion. And people were like, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I guess Doge is funny, whatever, right? I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? What just happened? It's February 8th and Doge has 10x'd. And this coincided with GameStop, the anti-Wall Street movement, right? Like, let's squeeze all these boomers, right? Shorting GameStop, whatever. That propelled it to go from 1 billion to 10 billion in a span of a month. Think how crazy that is, okay? This actually happened like less than 4 years ago. And if you think about, the type of asset Fartcoin is, it really mimics that of GameStop, It's like, this guy, like Mr. Bonaparte, Douglas Bonaparte, if the Fed can't own Bitcoin, but they said nothing about Fartcoin, right? It really gets the boomers going, right? Sven Henrik, right? Strategic Fartcoin Reserve. It's going to continue to cut rates until Fartcoin is taken seriously. Bob Elliott, he looks like a guy that farts a lot, but, he's like, yeah, if Fartcoin is going per block, maybe, we shouldn't be cutting rates. It's getting the people angry. It's getting the boomers angry. Something about it just really gets them going, which I think is good because it just means that it like emotionally resonates and has a lot of mind share, right? Every time I fart, I think about Fartcoin. But hit 10 billion, right? Let's go back on like the dream, right? Hit 10 billion, like 1 to 10, and then I specifically remember when this happened, and I was like, yo, like Doge at 10, come on, like that's come on, that's a bubble of a lifetime. That's absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, oh, okay. Now it's at 6.7, down 33%. It's over. Yeah, I know. Like the retail is going to get wrecked. I really hope that they're not losing their life savings. 53 billion 2 months later, 90 billion early May, right? So I think people forget that in bull markets, things can go absolutely crazy. And I think, everyone is looking for that type of asset. And out of all the assets that exist in crypto, I think Fartcoin is the most likely to put in this type of move, right? And think about it. I mean, Doge is like now at 60 billion. That's absolutely insane. So yeah, I think the TradFi Cope flywheel is very, very strong. And, yeah, I mean, I think it fully graduated like AI coin status, right? Because like I think I mentioned this earlier, but Fartcoin started as GOAT beta, right? Truth Terminal hallucinated Fartcoin. Someone created it and it pumped, and at some point, it no longer became GOAT beta. It flipped GOAT, and now it's just Fartcoin. But it's still loosely attached to the AI meta. And I think that's what's really, really important. And this is when I want to pivot to the AI sector talk, right? Because on this channel, I've talked about, the AI, meta like a lot, right? For the past 2 months, all I've talked about is AI coins, GOAT, agentic coins, whatever you want to call it. And right now, according to Cookie.fun, it's the collective AI market cap is roughly $9 billion. And, these coins are getting destroyed today, aside from Fartcoin and some other select coins, but they can mostly, let's keep the conversation going here. I've been thinking about this a lot, and a lot of you know me as the green dildo guy, and it's hard for you to take me seriously, and I'm personally okay with that, right? It puts less pressure on me if people don't take me seriously. But I do want to talk seriously about where I think the state of the AI meta is. Because I'm not just buying Fartcoin because it's like Fartcoin, right? I genuinely believe that this is like one of the best expressions, or it's one of the best coins to buy, to own, to express your bullishness on the meta. And I'll give you my reasons why. So, I think a lot of you agree with me that I think the collective total market cap of these things, which is currently at $9 billion, it's gonna go up like in order of magnitude. Okay, like I think it's going to go to like 100, 200. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think people genuinely believe that there's something here, and something out of this meta is like there's going to be a few coins that hit 10 billion. There's going to be a few coins that hit a few billion, and maybe a few that hit like 50 billion or something, right? People genuinely believe that there's a lot of potential here. And as a result, people are doing a lot of analysis. They're buying coins like AI16Z, Cerebro, GOAT, Fartcoin, virtual agent coins, etc. Right? People are forming theses on why this coin is going to pump more than that coin, why I want to own these coins. That people are coming up with reasons to own certain coins and not other coins. And like I said, I've been looking at this meta for 2 months, and the meta has evolved a lot. The thing with me is that my opinion on this meta changes almost every single day. So if you're listening to this video now, and it's the 19th of December. If you're watching this on Christmas, chances are like my opinion has changed. So and also if you watch my video like from last week, chances are it's kind of changed. So I want you to understand that, right? Like my opinions are ever evolving because this meta is ever evolving. I think, a month ago, people thought that GOAT was going to be the make it bag, right? And now it's, I think people generally agree that like GOAT is not really it. Now people think that like AI16Z, Cerebro, ARC, and virtual is like the make it bag, right? Or Fartcoin is the make it bag. And there's a lot of discussions happening here. And I don't necessarily think that anything is really consensus. And what I've realized over the past couple of weeks and months is that it's getting really competitive, right? There's a lot of attention on this meta. It's not really hard to spin up new agents, and it's not really hard for developers to spin up new frameworks and market it in like a certain way, right? Maybe like a month ago, AI16Z's Eliza was like the most, the main thing, right? And I do think AI16Z has some moat because they partner with Stanford. They have they're like the number two trending GitHub repo for the past month. So it definitely feels like there's some developer moat there. I can say the same for virtual. But for everything else, it's kind of like, smokes and mirrors, right? It's like mostly marketing, like, trust me, bro, we're gonna ship this thing, etc. But even with AI16Z, the value accrual is not really clear. Yes, we get it. The devs are working on your project, and it seems like a legitimate thing, and I do think it's a legitimate thing. But if you look at the market cap of AI16Z, it topped at roughly a billion, almost a billion, right? So look, I don't really know why, but I would assume that the reason it did so is because, well, we get it. Like, people are using ELIZA to ship agents and like all this stuff, right? But there's really no direct value accrual. So we can't really pump your coin past $1 billion market cap until that gets resolved. And I think that's one of the reasons why virtual did so well, is because maybe I'm not going to comment on like the quality of this framework, but at least they have the pumpamentals. They have the tokenomics down, the Ponzonomics down. So, they're able to, at least like pump this thing, right? So the point is, there's a lot of frameworks launching, there's a lot of agents launching, it's getting really diluted. And even projects like AI16Z that I think has a moat, I'm not even sure like what that moat is, because who knows, maybe in a month, someone else comes up with a better framework, and it gets flipped. I think that's fairly unlikely, but I think it's definitely a possibility. So going back to my original point of the total market cap being 9 billion, I'm very confident that it's going to go up by an order of magnitude, but it's really hard for me to bet on a specific agent, a specific infrastructure that's gonna, continue having that particular moat. But the one coin that I think will always have, let's say, 5 to 10% market dominance for the collective AI meta is Fartcoin, right? I actually think that. Look, I'm never gonna claim to be like to offer right curve analysis, right? Because look, I'm holding this, right? I have zero credibility here. But I think, for Fartcoin, there's like the left curve, mid curve, and right curve analysis. And maybe this is like mid curve, right? But the left curve is like Fartcoin is funny, ha ha ha. That's the left curve analysis. I think the right curve analysis for Fartcoin is that it's literally the only AI coin that has like a moat. Okay, like it's crossed the mainstream. It crossed the chasm to TradFi, and it's literally the only pure AI meme, right? That has zero execution risk. It has significant mindshare, and I think if you had to bet on one coin to bet on the growth of the entire ecosystem, it's probably Fartcoin, right? That's probably like the number one thing that I can go to. Like if I were to buy a coin, go on vacation, and come back in a month, I would bet that Fartcoin is the most likely to have like clear market dominance, followed by maybe virtual and AI16Z. I'm not sure if that resonates, but the whole point is that this meta is ever evolving. These projects don't really have significant moats, and even if they do, the value capture is unclear. So until they figure that out, I don't really think these coins can like pump that hard. So if I had to bet on one AI coin to like have the ultimate pumpamentals, I think it's going to be Fartcoin. Okay. So that being said, I own AI16Z and stuff, right? So I'm like kind of funning my bags here, but just think about it, right? Top 10 AI agents by mindshare. Fartcoin's at 36%, and it's not even an AI agent. It's always going to be included in this AI basket. So if you think the AI basket grows, then Fartcoin will catch a passive bid. And not only that, it's going to catch a bid from just mainstream and TradFi, right? Like my personal my personal anecdotes don't really mean much, but I know a lot of TradFi people, right? That work in TradFi, and they love Fartcoin for whatever reason, and you're seeing this now. I don't even have to like Bob Elliott is never going to tweet about Pepe or dog with hat, right? But like if Fartcoin hits $1, he's going to be pissed. He's like, wow, like the Fed is being irresponsible. So that's kind of like my, I think Fartcoin is like at the perfect intersection. It's like the Venn diagram. There's like 3 Venn diagrams, right? There's like the AI crypto Venn diagram, like the circle, right? There's like the retail Venn diagram circle. There's like the TradFi Venn diagram circle, and the only overlap is Fartcoin. It's the only overlap. So there's that, right? So I don't want to really give. It's kind of getting dumped, but The thing is, I mean, like the Fartcoin just is so volatile. So anyways, I'm not gonna get phased by this price action, but the question is, okay, like let's say you kind of, okay, like, you're kind of nodding your head, right? It's like, okay, like, maybe this kind of makes sense. And I'm saying that like it's the only coin that's capable of like putting in this type of run. But isn't this like a top signal, right? Like Stephen Colbert is just like talking about Fartcoin, making Fartcoin jokes. And the thing is, I mean, the honest answer is I do not know. Okay, like I don't know. Like the top signals are only obvious in hindsight. Like we've had infinite top signals on the way up, but we're still like relatively, like, we're basically at all-time highs in Bitcoin. And maybe, yeah, I mean, Fartcoins are, sorry, sorry, I'm hallucinating Fartcoin within myself, but top signals are only obvious in hindsight. But I personally think that this is a part of the journey, right? Stephen Colbert, just like Fartcoin being mentioned on TV, is just a part of the journey. And the last thing I want to talk about is this theory of inversion. So, I'm just going to use like a arbitrary number, like Fartcoin to $25, 25 billion. I'm not saying that's going to get there, but let's say, I believe that, right? So for Fartcoin to hit $25 billion, what needs to happen, right? What are the necessary steps, right? If I were to write like a Netflix documentary of Fartcoin to $25, season 1, like episodes like 1 through 10, how would that like documentary or like fictional story look like? And then I would have to ask myself, is that even possible? Is that even likely? And is it getting there, right? And then I think that's like a better way to, I guess, like, predict. I mean, okay, there's like no good way to predict these things because crypto is an insane industry. But I think you kind of get the point, right? And I think for me, I think this is like what the Netflix like documentary would look like, right? Season 1, episode 1. AI Truth Terminal hallucinates Fartcoin. It's like, what's the best meme? Fartcoin. Humans love fart jokes. Fart jokes are Lindy. It's PG-13. It can still be mentioned on television. Fartcoin is a good coin. Okay, that's season 1, episode 1. Episode 2. Taiki Maeda, the chronic mid-curb, sells his ETH and DeFi tokens at the local top of Fartcoin. Gets dunked on by everyone, and he becomes a meme. He feels bad about himself, and then everyone contemplates whether or not Taiki Maeda destroyed the token. Because I'll let you know that I got some angry DMs, right, when I topped Fartcoin. I got really mean comments. Episode 3, it starts to trend up. And people start to complain. Why is the Fed cutting rates, right? Like why? Like how are the 14-year-old Zoomers outperforming my hedge fund by buying Fartcoin? This is unacceptable, right? That's the cope, right? You kind of get this group of boomers just angry at the entire situation, right? It's kind of building up to the crescendo here. Episode 4, the Fed cuts rates and Fartcoin hits $1 the same day. Look, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter what the timing is, but the Fed cut rates yesterday and Fartcoin wicked to $1, right? Technically, right, you can write a headline that says the Federal Reserve cut rates and Fartcoin tops $1 billion, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of like tweets from like, TradFi people saying angry things like, the Fed is being irresponsible because Fartcoin is hitting $1, right? It's even adding to the lore. Episode 5, right? Season 1, episode 5, the mainstream attention cycle begins. Stephen Colbert is the first to make a Fartcoin joke. It's silent but wealthy. And look, so you kind of get what you kind of get what I'm trying to, you kind of see what I'm trying to get at, right? The thing is, I could be wrong, and maybe this Netflix documentary is only 7 episodes long, or 6 episodes long, or 5 episodes long, and this is literally the end, right? I could be wrong. Or maybe it's 10 episodes long, or 15 episodes long, and episode 14 is when Trump makes a joke about Fartcoin on like national television or something, right? And he says he buys like $100 of Fartcoin, like it's something ridiculous. I mean, I don't think he'll do that, but like, I mean, the path to absurdity is there, right? Fartcoin is best positioned to become the most absurd coin in all of crypto. And, I can't tell you definitively it's going to happen, but what I can just show you is that, I mean, the markets are getting destroyed. Oh my goodness, it's getting absolutely destroyed. And Fartcoin is also down, but it's still up 15% on the day, right? There's a lot of demand for this coin. And I don't know like what's happening here, but I mean, there's definitely something there, right? So if there's any coin that's, that has the potential to put in this type of run, like a new and shiny coin, right? I think it's Fartcoin. It's loosely attached with AI. Fart jokes are funny, and it has the flywheel going for it already, which makes it more absurd. So that's kind of where I'm at. That is kind of where I'm at. It's been I've only made Fartcoin videos for like a month now, or maybe a little bit over a month. Actually, like over a month. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey for sure. It hasn't been the easiest journey, right? I literally shilled it at the Pico top at like 40 cents, like around Thanksgiving. And then bam, we went down to like 15 cents. And I bought more. I've been buying on the way up as well. And I've gotten some questions in the comment section, so I'll answer it. So obviously, it's up, so I'm happy, right? But it wasn't guaranteed, So some people have asked me, like, what are we gonna do, right? Like, what were we gonna do if Fartcoin didn't pump, right? Like, would you have retired? Like, what would you have done? Like, what would you have done if Fartcoin did not pump, right? What would I have done? I guess we'll never know. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys another time. Bye-bye.